Entry and exit tones are off.
All right. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. My name's Haziq Ali. I'm a self-esteem development fanatic, starting with my own. And I'm a revenue, or even better way to put it, is I'm a profit acceleration coach. Like, the whole idea is that your business is worth way more than you think. But there's a reason 86% of businesses make less than six figures every year. 86% of businesses. And I mean, there's a lot of businesses out there. I'm talking about every single month, 540,000 new businesses file for paperwork in their respective states. There are a lot of entrepreneurs, and 86% of them make less than six figures. Why? Because your business school teacher didn't even have a business. You don't even know the basic concepts. I try to tell people over and over again that passion is not a promise for profit. You get what I'm saying to you? Passion is not a promise for profit. Just because you love to cook does not mean you know how to open up a restaurant. So what we do every single morning is we give you a curriculum. Every Monday, we give you mindset. Every Tuesday, we give you sales tips. Every Wednesday is all about marketing. That's today. Every Thursday is about leadership, and every Friday we do free coaching Friday where I'll answer any question about any kind of business. But right now it's all about you. Rep your city. Where are you from? What kind of business do you have? You should, if you rock with us every morning, you should have this saved in your shortcuts on your phone. You should just be able to push a couple characters and the description of you and your business just pops up on the screen. That's a hack. You got to understand, your time is non-refundable. Somebody give me that in the comments. My time is non-refundable. That means we need to be using every waking moment to decide whether we want to grow or die. You get what I'm saying? Every single waking moment should be working to. You're already doing everything you can do. You're already being the best you can be, baby, with who you are right now. I know it doesn't make any sense when I say you're already doing everything you can do. You're like, I thought you were motivational. I thought you were here to make me feel bigger and better. And that's a fact. But check it out. Every human being is already doing everything they can do with who they are right now, right? It means when I say that you'll never be able to do more than you're doing until you yield to becoming more than you're being. Am I making sense to somebody out there? Am I making sense to somebody out there? You got to become more, and then you'll naturally do more, right? The learning never stops unless you decide it does. The growing never stops unless you decide it does. You hear me? Choose to forever learn. Choose to forever grow, because you're only growing or dying. That's the way this game is played. You're only growing or dying. So that's why we do affirmations every morning. And that's why we try and give you lessons. We try and give you knowledge that you can utilize in a major way to affect change automatically. Today, what we're here to talk about is marketing, right? And so what I wanted to talk about, since we're watching the news, and this guy is just a wild man. Of course, I'm talking about Donald Trump. If you see the title right there, if you're listening in on the line and you didn't get the text message for yourself, today we're talking about 5 ways that Trump created a cult. And then I'm going to show you exactly how you can do the same thing, right? I'm going to give you the lessons that we can learn from this guy, a few of them that we can congeal into a framework. As you know, I'm really big on frameworks and formulas and acronyms, things that can help you quickly remember this stuff and then apply it as fast as possible. Well, I'm going to give you some of that this morning. But what we're here to talk about is Donald Trump being a master hypnotist. How exactly he used his power on America. How exactly he uses his power on himself. There's this guy named Scott Adams. He writes one of the most hilarious comic strips that I've ever read. It's called Dilbert. And even though I got sketchy feelings about Scott Adams in a couple other areas, the cat is a hypnotist, right? And what he's always talking about is how Donald Trump is a hypnotist too. That a lot of the stuff that he would see the media reporting, and they would make it sound like it was just random insults or random machismo and bluster. Scott Adams would always point out how the stuff to him looked like a master hypnotist plying his craft. He would recognize a lot of the techniques that Trump would use from the fields of hypnosis and from the fields of persuasion. As a matter of fact, there's a book you can get called win bigly. Win bigly. That was one of Trump's words, right? Persuasion in a world where facts don't matter. Win bigly. Persuasion in a world where facts don't matter. And what I want you to understand is that Trump does a lot of these weird techniques that if you begin to analyze it, you can use it a gift. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen, because everybody thinks hypnosis is about, making somebody cluck like a chicken on stage or squawk around, you know what I mean? All of that. Nah, man. All hypnosis is making you believe my imagination, right? That's all hypnosis is. Have you ever seen Trump shake somebody's hand? Trump shakes people's hands and he does it in a way where it's like he pulls you close to him. Y'all ever seen that? He'll shake your hand and then pull you into him. It's a weird thing, but that's hypnosis. That's a hypnosis technique. Sometimes if you've ever seen a show in Vegas, they'll be like, go to sleep, and then they'll pull them into sleep. Trump does this stuff. Scientist, entrepreneur, Renaissance man, statesman, Ben Franklin, back in 1784, chaired the French Royal Commission. And what they were there to do was investigate mesmerism at this particular time. Mesmerizing is another word for hypnotizing, hypnosis and all of that. Mesmerizing was a precursor to hypnosis, right? And what the commission figured out is that hypnosis or mesmerism derives its power from imagination. Remember earlier this week, we were talking about the 6 faculties of the mind, and I told you imagination is the most powerful of them all. Well, hypnosis is just believed in imagination. Trump is a powerful hypnotist with the ability to conjoin belief and imagination, and he's so powerful that he even hypnotizes himself. If you've been watching a lot of the news lately, you see he's on there and digging himself in deeper holes. But I was telling my business partner like how I believe he would pass a lie detector test because he's not just hypnotizing the people, he's hypnotized himself. There's all these techniques he uses, continually repeating himself, talking in third grader language. Napoleon, there's a movie about to come out about Napoleon around Thanksgiving, and I'm sure they're going to, deify, another, white man. But he's another hypnotist, right? He's another politically incandescent hypnotist. Napoleon was, and he dominated the world's imagination in his day. If you know anything about Napoleon, he would say things like, I've discovered something fascinating. Men will die for colorful pieces of ribbon. That's a thought from the mind of Napoleon. He's where we get the thing Napoleon complex and all of this type of stuff. Napoleon was a wild boy. He shows up in the 1700s. He's walking through a camp where all these enemy prisoners of war, they just erupt into applause, right? They're cheering him and whatnot. And he's like, man, what a wild thing imagination is. Here are men who don't know me. They've never seen me. They only knew of me. And yet they're this moved by my presence. They would do anything for me. And this same incident happens in countries all over the world, centuries all through time. This is fanaticism. That's Napoleon talking about how people become cults. Imagination rules the world. That's my point to you. Imagination rules the world. Believed in imagination. It's powerful. I ain't saying it's all powerful, because as we see, Donald Trump ain't doing so hot right now. But I'm making a point to you that this is hypnosis, and therefore this is something that maybe you can bottle up yourself. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you this morning about 5 different ways that Donald Trump was able to create a cult. Okay. And what I do is I spell it out in an acronym. I'm real big on these acronyms. Somebody give me the word charm in the comments. Somebody type out the word charm. 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 Trump is a master manipulator. Like these linguistic kill shots that he would levy on the crowd, right? When you hear him, he would describe Jeb Bush as low energy, or Joe Biden as sleepy Joe, or Ben Carson as nice. He had a candidate he was running against named Carly Fiorina, and he would describe her as robotic. What this does is imprint a label on people that you already feel, right? These aren't random insults. These are linguistic kill shots that you can never get out of your mind. This is believed in imagination. And so where the media would see random insults, what you got to see is somebody who is strategically creating a gap between the people who attack him and the people that compliment him, right? Now all of a sudden he's getting he's building a cult. He's created these big visual thoughts that drown out any argument that somebody could make. It's hypnosis. Am I making sense out there? So I call it charm. I want you to charm. Thank you very much. Charm. These are 5 keys to your personal magnetism. Jot these down. If you're a member of the Kaizen Academy, we've gone over this in the class on emotional intelligence. All right. So here's the C in charm. The C in charm is confirm their suspicions. Confirm their suspicions. Confirm their suspicions. So what do we mean by that? We mean that your people are already feeling a way about how the health industry is trying to rob them of their health. They already feel as though this economic system is designed to take care of the rich and drain the pockets of the poor. They already feel like politicians aren't trustworthy. They already feel, right? Like, what are some statements that exist about your industry? What are some statements that exist about the problem you're here to solve? And how can you say it out loud what everybody's thinking? You know, you say like, well, we was all thinking it. Gifted cult creators are really good at making you think to yourself, yeah, he's right. Sometimes you've heard me talk to you about how when you're writing an ad, a lot of times a way to write an ad is the same way you build rapport in real life, right? Like you make a true statement, then you make another true statement, and then at that point, the brain will accept whatever you say next. That's hypnosis, believed in imagination. Your brain is constantly looking for efficiency. It's constantly looking for shortcuts. So there are all these things you can do to make it so that the brain is completely accepting of whatever you say next, as long as it's reasonable, as long as it ain't too big a leap. You got me? Confirm their suspicions. So when you would hear Donald Trump say, we got to drain the swamp, you'd hear Donald Trump say things like, they all crooked in DC, right? Sometimes when I'm talking about stuff in terms of financial services, I might say something to a client, or during a presentation, I might say something like, these other companies move really slow on purpose. And they're like, oh, snap. Yeah, you know what? I knew that. I knew they were taking their time fixing my credit because they want me to keep paying every month. So I just say it out loud what everybody's thinking. That's the C in charm. That's how you create a cult, right? You confirm their suspicions. You confirm their suspicions. If you're ready for the H, somebody give me confirm their suspicions. Confirm their suspicions. So Donald Trump would confirm the suspicions of the voting populace by talking about draining the swamp and the crooked politicians. I would confirm their suspicions about the credit repair industry by saying things like, these other companies move slow on purpose. What can you do to confirm the suspicions of the audience you market to? This is Marketing Wednesdays. Here's the H. Help them throw stones at their enemies. Again, we're talking about marketing, right? And a lot of times, man, you focus on, if you're lucky, if you've had any training, you might not be quite millionaire minded level, but if you bumped into any training, then somebody told you to talk about why you love what you do, right? Why it is you love this industry. Why it is you love solving the problem that you're here to solve. Now, some don't even do that. You're way behind if you ain't at least doing that. If you ain't going live talking about why it is that you love solving these types of problems, if you ain't going live talking about a client you just got off with and how on fire you are about the fact that you were able to share a simple piece of information with them that changed their life, that changed their trajectory, that changed their direction, right? I mean, you got to love that. But if you want to build a cult, You got to do something else. You got to help them cast stones at their enemies. You got to talk about what and who and why you hate. Who's the enemy? Everybody. Donald Trump was good for doing that, right? Donald Trump was good for doing that. Yo, check it out. I alone can fix this, right? Banks are crooked, and again, me being in financial services, us having a fintech company, when I'm helping cast stones at the enemies, I'm talking about how banks want to keep the poor poor. I'm talking about how, the wealthy pay less taxes than they charge you, right? I'm constantly talking about how capitalism ain't bad. It's just the wrong people are capitalizing, right? I'm constantly talking about how illiteracy creates bondage. They want you poor. They want to keep your body alive like you're a cattle, like you're a cow. They don't want to kill the cow. They want to fatten the cow up so it produces more steaks, right? And that's what they're doing to you financially. You paying the minimum on your credit cards while the balance explodes. That's why you need debt resolution. You got me? I'm helping them throw stones at the enemy. These companies are trying to rob you to death. They want you to be like your Nana, talking about, oh, my credit is good. Meanwhile, Nana owed $30,000 in debt, and the balloon keeps on ballooning every single month because she's paying the minimum. No, we got to cut that debt in half. What am I doing? I'm helping them throw stones at the enemies. I'm helping them see the lending institutions as evil. I'm letting them see I can't stand the way that they rob the financially illiterate at pinpoint. Not at gunpoint, but at pinpoint. And I hate it. I hate the wealth gap. I hate the fact that this system has been designed with redlining built into it. Things like Levittowns right there in the history books, unless we let them whitewash the history books, right? And this ain't back in the times of dinosaurs. This is your grandma. You hear me? So what am I doing when I'm bringing that up? I'm helping them throw stones at the enemies, right? How would Donald Trump do it? I alone can fix this, right? Everybody's against us. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Here's the A. Here's the A. Allay their fears. Allay their fears. That means you're kind of like making them relax and be more comfy. You allay their fears. Like, it's going to be okay. Donald Trump would do that when he would start talking to him about we're going to build a wall and keep them damn Mexicans out, right? Just so offensive. We're gonna build a wall, and by the way, which one of the charm methods was he using when he says that they're all rapists and criminals and cartel members and drug dealers? What is he doing? What is he doing? For the ignorant people that like are in his affinity circle, believe it or not, that's confirming suspicions. Believe it or not, that's helping them cast stones at their enemies. And then when he says we're going to build a wall, what he's doing is allaying their fears. He's alleviating their fear. You got me? We're going to build a wall and keep them out. Me being in fintech, I like describing how, oh, don't worry. I know you're scared to sell stuff. With fintech, you get paid up front. Even though for most of it, they don't even have to pay anything up front. They don't pay up front, but you get paid up front. That's the beauty of fintech. Don't even worry about it. Everybody hates selling, not just you. But if all they're doing is going to your website and getting a loan, they didn't pay anything and you didn't sell anything. You just helped them out. You just provided an option. I'm alleviating their fear. I'm alleviating their fear. I'll tell them, yeah, we work in credit, we work in lending, we work in debt resolution, and we work in tax preparation. Check it out. Out of those 4 quadrants, 3 of them take no upfront money. They don't pay upfront to get their taxes prepared. They don't pay upfront to get a loan or some business funding. They don't pay upfront to get debt resolution, but you get paid upfront. I'm alleviating their fears. You got me? It's easy. It's simple. It gets you further, faster, with less effort. Am I making sense, y'all? Am I making sense? That's the A in charm. You're making them feel like everything is going to be okay long as they rock with you, right? That's why he's talking about building a wall that he knew he'd never get completed, But the whole idea was, if I can make you relax, you're going to feel comfy in my arms. You're going to join my cult. Here's the R. You ready for the R? The R is remind them of their dreams. Support their dreams. The R is remind them of their dreams. I mean, my God, if you didn't notice that he was doing that to his voting constituency when he would say, "Make America great again," when was America great for you? If you want a clue, no, I ain't even gonna go there. But you get it? He's reminding them, right? Like, man, there was a time when somebody that looked like that couldn't even talk to somebody that looked like you that way. That's right, right? Man, back in the good old days, we had shown them what was happening, right? He was reminding them. He was reminding them. I know somebody out there hating me for this. I'm just breaking it down to you. I hope I ain't in the wrong place to be real. If I'm doing it from the fintech perspective, I'm like, you want to change your family's chances in this lifetime? You want to help your family be all it can be? You want your children and your grandchildren to have better opportunities? Huh? I got to remind them of their dreams. You want to be remembered by your great grandchildren. Only reason you don't remember your great granddaddy is because he ain't leave you nothing. That's why you don't even know his name, because he didn't leave you nothing. Had he left you, you'd be like, oh, he was a great man. There'd be a statue of him in the foyer. You got me? But because he ain't leave you nothing, you don't even remember him. You don't want to go out like that. You got me? So I'm reminding them of their dreams. Like Donald Trump did when he's like, make America great again. And then here's the M, y'all. Here's the M. Make excuses for their previous failures. This is the job of the marketer. If I'm calling you from the red ocean where it's all crowded and I want to stand out like an authority, I want to stand out and be influential, I want to stand out and be the expert, the number one thing I got to do is let you know it ain't your fault. You can like if everybody's doing yoga and I want to stand out. So now I create a blue ocean called hot yoga, right? Then what I do is I say to them, it ain't your fault you couldn't get into the positions. You just needed hot yoga. And now they're like, oh, snap. I knew it wasn't my fault. Yeah. See, we know in personal development, you always want to take responsibility. But as a marketer, what you're trying to do is make them blame everybody else for their problems. You want them to blame the current product or service they're using for why they ain't getting results. That makes them want to come over to you. Am I making sense? You're making excuses for their previous failures. So what Donald Trump would do is he'd be like, it's not your fault. It was the Democrats. It was their failed liberal policies. Got me? It ain't your fault that your household is in disarray. It ain't your fault that you're broke. It ain't your fault that you're poor. You know damn well it's your responsibility if you broke. Ain't no politician ever helped change your life, right? It's up to you. This is all a game they playing. Local politics got way more to do with your quality of life than this WWF, WWE, MMA, worldwide circus we watch called the national elections. It's the local elections that have more to do with the potholes in your streets, the way that the police treat the citizenry, et cetera, so forth. That's local politics. That's where you vote on a sheriff. That's where you vote on the district attorney, et cetera, so forth. You hear what I'm saying to you? So what you're doing, right, is, because I got off the point a little bit, but the M in charm is make excuses for their failures. It's not your fault. It was the Democrats. It's not your fault that nobody taught you this stuff in school about your finances. They wanted to set you up to be poor because poor people dump the most money in the system. Poor people pay the highest taxes. Poor people work the most jobs. I can get this one poor person to work like 3 jobs and keep the economy pumping. Come on, baby. You got me? So I'm making excuses for their failures. Was this helpful? Are y'all getting something y'all could get out of this? I dare you go through that charm thing. Somebody give me charm if this was helpful. Charm if this was helpful. Yo, go through that whole acronym and then ask yourself these questions. If you need my help, then reach out to me. You may even want to join the Kaizen Academy. It's like $1.50 a day. You know what I mean? The homework never expires. We got whole trainings on all of this stuff if you want to get better at it. It can make you a top recruiter. It can make you a top salesperson. It can make you a top entrepreneur. It can even make you the president of the United States if you do it right. All right, y'all. Let's take it to Instagram. It's time to do some affirmations. Y'all ready? It's time to get it on with our affirmations. If you're listening in on the phone line, it's time to take it to Mr. Haziq Ali on Instagram. Mr. Haziq Ali. Try some affirmations every now and then, baby. You'll be surprised. All right, I'm glad y'all got something out of this. Charm. All right, it's affirmation time. Let's take it over there to Instagram. Let's take it to Instagram right now. It's affirmation time. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, we're going live right now. And remember, either your mind has to expand to match your goals, or your goals will just start to shrink to match your